Can you tell everybody what B.I.G. stands for?
Business instead of games. All my people's got to stay on a positive vibe, you know. Negativity just brings failure, you know. And we ain't trying to fail in this game. We trying to succeed.
I was 4 cars away when Biggie got shot.
Wow.
I was 4 cars in front of him.
We was partying
I
with
just
him
said
tonight.
what's up to him.
Yeah, we sent him a bottle of Dom, and he raised his...
Yo, check it out. I want to give a shout out to my borough. Brooklyn is up in here.
Welcome back to Thug Legacy Entertainment, where we dive deep into the untold stories and hidden truths of hip-hop's most influential figures. Here, we go beyond the headlines to uncover the real stories behind hip-hop legends, their struggles, their triumphs, and the legacies they left behind. Today we're taking you to Los Angeles, March 1997, a city still mourning Tupac, and about to witness the final days of Christopher Wallace, the Notorious B.I.G. The air was thick with tension, but also with hope for change. Biggie wasn't there to stoke the so-called East versus West war. He was in LA to promote his new album, connect with fans, and prove that peace was possible in a divided industry. He wanted to show the world that music could unite, not divide. The headlines only tell part of the story. Behind every sensational article, there's a reality that's far more complex and deeply human. We're digging into the details, his mindset, his moves, and the people around him. What was Biggie really thinking in those final days? Who did he trust, and who was he wary of? This isn't just about tragedy, it's about understanding the man behind the myth. The fears he faced, the dreams he chased, and the legacy he hoped to build. Biggie was a father, a businessman, and an artist at his peak, navigating a world that both celebrated and threatened him. He balanced family, fame, and the constant pressure of being in the spotlight. We'll explore his mission to bridge coasts, his professional triumphs, and the anxieties that shadowed him. Every move he made was watched, every word analyzed, but he kept pushing forward. He was ready to become more than a rap icon. He was planning to be a global mogul, expanding his influence beyond music into business and culture. The story of his last days is a testament to the life he was living, not just the loss that followed. It's about the joy, the ambition, and the love he shared with those around him. Let's uncover what really happened when the King of New York came to the City of Angels. Stay tuned as we reveal the truth behind the legend and celebrate the enduring impact of Biggie Smalls. Biggie's trip to LA in March 1997 was all business. He landed in the city with a clear purpose, determined to make his mark not just as an artist, but as a leader in hip-hop. The energy in Los Angeles was electric, but also tense, as the East Coast-West Coast rivalry still lingered in the air. He was there to promote Life After Death, a double album set to change the game. This wasn't just another release, it was a statement, a bold move that would cement his legacy and push the boundaries of what hip-hop album could be. The Hypnotize video shoot was a blockbuster. Boats, helicopters, and a new level of luxury. It was a celebration of success, showing the world that hip-hop had reached new heights, both in style and ambition. But Biggie's real mission was to shift the narrative. He wanted to end the East versus West drama, not fuel it. He knew the power of his words and presence, and he hoped to use them to bring people together. He hit radio stations, telling California he had nothing but love, pushing for peace in a culture still reeling from Tupac's death. Every interview was a chance to reach out, to show respect, and to try to heal old wounds. This wasn't just PR. He genuinely wanted unity, knowing the beef was bad for everyone. Biggie understood that the violence and division threatened the future of the music he loved, and he wanted to be part of the solution. Biggie moved like a CEO, connecting with West Coast artists and industry leaders. He was building relationships, not just for himself, but for the entire hip-hop community. He was there to build bridges, not burn them. Every handshake, every conversation, was a step toward a more united scene. With Puffy and a tight crew, he focused on promoting the album and changing perceptions. They strategized every move, knowing the world was watching. The stakes were high. The future of Bad Boy Records and mainstream hip-hop rested on his shoulders. Every decision mattered, and the pressure was intense. This trip was supposed to be a victory lap, not a farewell. It was meant to be a celebration of how far he'd come, and a glimpse of what was still possible. But the tension in the air was real. Underneath the glitz and celebration there was a sense of unease that no one could ignore, and it would only grow, casting a shadow over everything Biggie hoped to achieve in Los Angeles. To truly understand Biggie's mindset in his final days, you have to understand the gravity of life after death. This wasn't just another album release, it was a statement, a culmination of everything he'd experienced and learned, both as an artist and as a man. Life After Death was his magnum opus, a sprawling double LP that showcased every facet of his artistry. It was ambitious, cinematic, and deeply personal, pushing the boundaries of what hip-hop albums could be. From the infectious swagger of Hypnotize to the haunting storytelling of Somebody's Gotta Die, Biggie poured his soul into every track. Each song was a reflection of his life, his triumphs, his fears, and his dreams for the future. He knew he was creating a classic, and so did everyone who heard it. The anticipation was electric, and the streets buzzed with excitement for what was to come. The album's themes, paranoia, betrayal, mortality, felt almost prophetic in hindsight. But at the time, they were simply the raw, honest expressions of a man at the peak of his craft, wrestling with the realities of his world. Biggie was thinking far beyond rap. He was mentoring Junior MAFIA, launching his own label, and planning his evolution from artist to executive. He wanted to build something that would last, to open doors for others, and create opportunities for his community. Life After Death was meant to be the foundation for an empire, a launching pad for a new era of influence and success. He was ready for the next level, financial freedom, industry power, and a legacy that would outlast him. Biggie was determined to secure a future not just for himself, but for his family and his city. The only cloud on the horizon was the lingering East versus West tension, a rivalry that cast a shadow over everything, threatening to overshadow even his greatest achievements. Still, Biggie believed he'd survived the worst and was on the verge of a new beginning. He was ready to step into a new era, leaving the past behind. Tragically, he was right about the album's impact, but he'd never get to witness the legacy he created, or see just how far his masterpiece would reach. March 8, 1997. The Vibe and Quest Records party at the Peterson Automotive Museum was meant to be a celebration. Biggie arrived late, in high spirits, the center of attention among a packed crowd of industry heavyweights. The museum was overflowing, the energy electric but chaotic. Underneath the celebration, tension simmered. This was LA, still raw from Tupac's loss, and the scene was unpredictable. Crips worked security, and the city's gang rivalries loomed in the background. The fire department shut the party down early due to overcrowding, forcing hundreds into the street at once. This sudden exodus created confusion and vulnerability. The abrupt end pushed Biggie and his crew from the safety of the event into the chaos outside. That moment set the stage for what was about to happen. The celebration turned into a crossroads, one that would change hip-hop forever. The night before the party, Biggie presented at the Soul Train Music Awards. He was met with both cheers and boos, a public reminder that the East versus West tension was still alive. Biggie handled it with grace, but behind the scenes, the negativity shook him. He'd taken security precautions for the awards, hiring off-duty police, but chose not to use them for the Vibe party, a decision that would haunt his legacy. The mixed reception at the awards underscored the duality of his LA trip, celebrated by some, vilified by others. Even with professional security, the threat was real. The boos were a warning. The beef wasn't just media hype. For some, it was personal. Biggie was both embraced and rejected, a superstar, walking a dangerous line. The stage was set for tragedy. March 6, 1997, Biggie's final photo shoot for Rap Pages magazine. The concept, King of New York, the image Biggie in a plastic crown, regal yet somber. At first, he thought the crown looked silly, but with some convincing, he embraced the role. The shoot was intimate, capturing a man who was both powerful and weary. Photographer Baron Claiborne asked Biggie to channel his journey and future. The result, an iconic portrait of a king aware of the price of his crown. That photo became a symbol, a memorial for a legend gone too soon. It was one of the last times Biggie got to just be an artist, creating his own legacy. The crown he hesitated to wear became his most enduring image, a haunting, beautiful final statement. After the party was shut down, Biggie and his crew left the Peterson Museum just after midnight. The streets were chaos, hundreds of people, cars jammed, tension thick. Biggie rode in a green Suburban, Puffy in another vehicle ahead. At a red light on Wilshire and Fairfax, a dark Chevy Impala pulled up beside Biggie's car. The driver, a black man in a suit and bow tie, rolled down his window. Words were exchanged, but what was said remains a mystery. Suddenly the driver opened fire. 4 shots hit Biggie. The Impala sped off, vanishing into the night. Chaos erupted. Puffy's crew rushed Biggie to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Doctors fought to save him, but the wounds were fatal. Christopher Wallace, the Notorious B.I.G, was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. The king was gone. Hip-hop would never be the same. Biggie's murder remains one of America's most infamous unsolved cases. Theories abound: death row, Suge Knight, corrupt LAPD officers, gang retaliation, but no one's been convicted. Former Detective Russell Poole's theory points to a conspiracy involving death row and rogue cops, but it's never been proven. Some say street gangs acted on their own, others point to the Nation of Islam, but evidence is thin. The LAPD's investigation was plagued by controversy and mistrial. Biggie's family sued the city, but justice never came. The truth is still locked away, known only to a few who remain silent. The unanswered questions are a shadow over Biggie's legacy, a king taken before his time. Biggie's death sent shockwaves through the world. Hip-hop lost its greatest voice, just as it reached its peak. In the aftermath, the culture was forced to confront its own violence. 16 days later, Life After Death dropped, debuting at #1, going diamond and cementing Biggie's legend. The world finally heard his masterpiece, but the artist was gone. His music became the soundtrack of a generation. Hypnotize, Mo Money Mo Problems, Sky's the Limit. Nearly 3 decades later, his influence is everywhere. His flow, his storytelling, his image. Biggie set the blueprint for the modern rap superstar, balancing street cred with commercial appeal. From Brooklyn to Brazil, his face is a global icon. His story's a cautionary tale, but also one of triumph. A young man who changed the world with his words. That's why we still say his name. That's why we tell his story. Stay legendary.